Okay, hello Internet, welcome back. Today I want to talk a little bit about the latest production chain we got done in Omnifactory, and also maybe give you guys a little tour of what's been going on in the base. But we hit a point where we really wanted to get polyethylene, mostly because polyethylene gets used in making patterns for ME auto crafting. So we wanted to get to this stuff, polyethylene. And looking at the tools we had, we knew we had to get it to a chemical reactor, so I spent some time futzing about, and it looked like this first recipe, ethylene and air and programmed circuits, all seemed easy enough to get to. So let's show you how we did it. Just as a reminder, there's ramen. If I can actually get on here, I will take us back out up top. I think I have night vision on, so forgive me if it looks a little weird. We have our sugarcane farm, which I think has been expanded significantly since the last time you saw it. Oh gosh, I'm going to have a ton of sugarcane now, because I have an item magnet. So we replaced the rails with a vacuum chest, and have it running in both directions. I got to get out of here. Let's see, and then that now feeds two fully upgraded drawers here, and those drawers feed our upgraded dynamos and whatever these are, steam dynamos. I think we're converting over to steam power in a few minutes, but we'll see. But so anyway, we also run now some Ender IO conduit over to this guy, a brewery, and we have an Endervore above the brewery, and so that takes our sugarcane and our water and makes biomass, which is hard to see because it flashes by, but it's making biomass. The biomass comes down into a distillery, and the biomass plus a chip creates ethanol. Ethanol. The ethanol then comes down to a chemical reactor, which has sulfuric acid and ethanol. And it is currently brewing up a batch of polyethylene and diluted sulfuric acid. So the sulfuric acid we get down here. It's water plus sulfur. Oh, we ran out of sulfur dust. Let's get some more. Pow-pow. Not the most sustainable method ever, but it's working now. Boop. Great, now we got more. The idea here, and so we're pulling water for the sulfuric acid into the chemical reactor from a compact infinite water source. These guys are all being fed by a CEF medium voltage off of a capacitor bank that I don't know why we're there. Let's say hi to Ramen. Say hi, Ramen. I'm recording. See if he actually answers. Okay, very good. So back to this, we have the sulfuric acid coming in over here, and then it slowly makes us our ethanol, or our ethylene, and then we pipe out, and I use the Ender fluid conduit, which is the second tier, so I can put item filters on it and separate out ethylene over here and diluted sulfuric acid here. And so the really cool thing there is we get our polyethylene from air and ethylene, and the air just comes from an advanced air controller here, or collector here. I can't figure out how to get this thing to connect right directly to the block, so I just threw a big pipe connecting the two. And just so you know, there's a second CEF over here, just so we can use the 4X cable. And then the thing I like about this setup is we threw a distillery in here that takes diluted sulfuric acid, the byproduct of making the ethylene, and turns it back into sulfuric acid. So we have a nice little recycling loop here so that we ease off our sulfur consumption. So just to take it from the top, we have biomass from sugarcane and water being done in a brewery. We have ethanol coming from that biomass in a distillery. Then we combine the ethanol with sulfuric acid from down here to make ethylene. And then we send the ethylene over here to make polyethylene. And I think we're going to just extrude it out to plates. I'll put it in a fluid solidifier soon. So that's a big step for us. It's pretty cool. Maybe some quick thoughts about some other stuff in the base too. So Ramen here is upgrading all of our power. We're rapidly getting to the point where while we can produce a ton of sugarcane, we cannot keep, it's expensive to make these, so we're looking at better methods for power. We also might look at canola, and we are also looking at lava because we unlocked ender tanks, so that could be cool. The other big change here is in the previous video I talked about our ore processing chain, and it got a bit more complicated, and we haven't sorted it out yet because with the amount of stuff we're throwing in here, we're starting to run into a lot of problem with non-smeltable byproducts like almandine dust. So that's great, and red garnet dust, and whatever this is. See, look at this guy, he just keeps throwing all this stuff in that can't be smelted, and then he complains that it won't smelt. So Ramen's going to have to figure that out. But in theory, here's the packager. There's a robot arm there. I can show you how I configured that arm. Boop. So we set it up a medium volt arm. It has to be at least medium volt, supplying exactly 9 items on an import with an item filter looking for tiny. So that should take a chest full of at least 9 tiny dusts and gets it into the packager, which then shoots it into here as a full dust and either shoots it out into our ME or over to our furnace. The reason there are so many cables here is we are filling it up with stuff that can't smelt properly. There's a lot of stuff that just won't smelt regularly in this version of the game. So these are all the different things we have found so far that don't smelt, which is quite frustrating, and is requiring a lot of tuning. So we're trying to figure out a better way to do that, but we haven't figured it out yet. I just keep telling him not to throw this crap in there, and he doesn't listen. Anyway, some other cool stuff. We added a spider and a blaze spawner. Ramen went and hunted those down, and now we have them. So yay, we're collecting blaze rods and whatever spiders drop that I don't care about. Anything else in here? We redid this a little bit. I expanded so that we could have a whole nother floor. I moved his gardens down here just to make it a little more out of the way, the ender lilies and the netherwort. We're not using a lot of them. Oops. Oh hey, I thought for the future and sub basement. So if I go back up, upstairs, the only big change is we just have some more MV machines for processing along here. Ore washer, raw lathe, wire mill, plates from the compressor, and a bunch of stuff that we've seen before. The advanced cutting machine is kind of cool. It can turn blocks into 9 plates of some things. And then over here is our ad hoc little, oh, what's all this? Just our little ad hoc fluid solidifier assembling machine. We're going to have to figure out better ways to put all this together. But that's the big changes so far. I think the other thing I could do is maybe take a moment and talk about what I'm hoping to accomplish with some of these videos. I'm not trying to go through every single step of the process like a Let's Play. I'm more looking to go through problems that I find interesting and that I think are difficult. For example, figuring this chain out, although it looks simple now, took a lot of kind of scrounging around JEI and thinking through how to get there, and even some trial and error and making some mistakes. And I think, especially also with things like this ore processing, I think that's a very important system to get in place in most mods or mod packs. And so I wanted to actually, make a video showing how to do it. So that's the kind of stuff I want to focus on a little more than just trying to show you guys every single boring part of our progression. So that's kind of what we're trying to do. Like this over here is all a failed experiment, so that'll be gone, and once I figure out what I wanted to do with it the right way, I'll show you guys, but right now, don't care. One other thing that a couple of my friends who play on the server or on the Discord servers that I showed this on initially asked was, why am I so quiet? And the answer is mostly because I play at night after all of my kids and my wife go to sleep. So I've tried to play on this video with increasing the gain in OBS. Hopefully that works. But at some point, if I have to choose between, recording and sounding slightly quiet or just not recording, I'll probably just keep recording quiet, because I kind of like just wandering around and showing people stuff we're working on. So there's a couple notes there. And what Ramen was just doing was using his diamond hook. That's what it looks like from outside. Kind of gets in the way sometimes. Yeah, so I think, looks small, but pretty cool piece of work we got done. Let's take the signs off. Make it real cool. There we go. Proper stacko machines. Yeah. So I hope that was helpful for anybody looking for how to make a polyethylene chain. So again, it's brewery, distillery, chem reactor. We've got you don't need this distillery. And another chem reactor. And technically this is way too long now. I can tighten it up. An air collector. And so again, we're doing biomass to ethanol, making some sulfuric acid, dumping it in here to get our ethylene and sulfuric acid, popping the ethylene over there to polyethylene, and down here recycling our sulfuric acid. So there you go. That's where we're at right now, and hopefully this will start really opening up our auto crafting. Looking forward to it. Thanks, Internet. Have a good night.